first thing I'm going to do here is go over some basic jump form and technique. Then I'm going to go over some things to prep your body for jumping and some progressions and regressions to make sure you go about it in a safe and effective way, regardless of how much experience you have. So first things first, our body, our tendons and muscles and joints work somewhat like a rubber band or a spring in that they store elastic energy. And if you load up, essentially stretching, you're creating potential energy that if you quickly apply it, is going to improve your strength and power, aka better jumping. So you can improve that ability, but the way you jump is also going to accentuate that. So when you jump, let's just take a basic stance here, like a basic vertical jump stance, so feet about hip width apart, and you're gonna reach up, extend back, load up, stretch, and then explode. So load and explode. So I'm going here, reach up. Woo. All right, so when you notice there, I get a nice pre-stretch there, I load up and then quickly explode. So the goal overall is to load as much as you can and then quickly apply the force by driving yourself up. So the hips, knees, ankles are all simultaneously loaded up quickly. If you watch elite jumpers, you'll notice a few things. That quick loading, so it's fast, it's abrupt, and it's just about simultaneous. And then the arms extend as well. So you get that shoulder extension to increase that stretch. So the more you can load up, the more potential you have to explode and use that energy. So that's the one key, is loading up very quickly and a lot. And then the other key is applying that force quickly. So if I load up and I pause, a lot of that energy dissipates, I don't get to use it, and I lose strength and power. So I'll just demonstrate that really quick. So here is, for the most part, pretty ideal form. All right, so quick loading, explode up quickly, right? Now I'm gonna do it with a pause. All right, not as good there. And now I'm gonna do it without any arm drive. Yeah, and I'll even do it quickly for you. All right, so that shoulder extension plays a really big role, and that's a piece that a lot of people are missing. So when you're jumping, it's important to get really quick loading, hips, knees, ankles, and shoulders, and then quick application of force as well. If you try to load up really far, that might inhibit your ability to quickly apply that force. So you gotta find that right balance where you're loading up a lot, but you're still able to come up quickly. So as far as foot placement, that's really gonna depend on where you're most comfortable and where you most want to improve. So when I jump, if I run into my jump, here's what it looks like. All right, so I tend to, and this is pretty common, get kind of a staggered foot position with a little bit of rotation in my left hip. So I can train like that. I tend to train like this, and I'll also switch up the feet. I might switch up the width as well. So train in the position you most want to improve the most, but I would suggest you train in other foot orientations as well. Now once you have the form down, in order to properly and safely prepare your body to be jumping at high intensities and maximal intensities, it's really important that you do a few exercises to get your body acclimated to the higher forces. So the takeoff of the jump, you certainly load up your joints and your tissues pretty substantially, but it's more on the landing that you have to worry about. That's when the forces can be a lot higher, and if you can't control the landing, it doesn't really matter what else is going on. You're gonna get pain, you're gonna get injury, and then you're not gonna be able to train for jumping. So first, I like to just simulate like a really low jump and landing from that. So you're gonna be here, feet about hip width, whatever comfortable jumping position you're normally in, and just gonna do a really little tiny hop and drop down. Just like that. Make sure you can control that position. All right, and then you can progress. If that's easy for a lot of reps, then you can do a little higher jump. And then you can even do some more sub-maximal jumps somewhere in the middle, so maybe 50%. And the key is just to make sure you can control the landing, good mechanics, you're not getting any crazy in or out of the knees or ankles, right? and you don't have any pain or major discomfort later on. And once you can do that, you can continue to progress. There's another exercise I really like, using the ankles, the pogo hops, where you're going to bounce lightly to start, and as long as that's comfortable, then you can progress. But for some people, this is not very efficient because they haven't really trained that elasticity yet. So this is a good way to improve that. Another way to do it is jumping jacks to get a little bit different plane of motion. So I'd recommend both of these. And before you progress, just make sure you can do this for a decent amount of time and it's not exhausting for you. If it is, that's a good indicator that it's something you need to work on, improve your elasticity so that you're more efficient. If that's easy for you, you can move on. You can do a little bit of higher jumps where you start to really try to stamp your feet down into the ground, where it's mostly feet and ankles here. All right, same thing goes here. You want to be able to do a decent amount of reps without getting extremely fatigued and without getting any pain or discomfort. Once you have that, you can move on to a little bit more extreme, get some arm drives into it. So you're going to anticipate, drive the arms back, come up with your jump. So I'll show you. All right, that gets a little bit into the knees, but it really concentrates that force in the feet and ankles. So that's one. You're not going to want to do too many reps, and you'll make sure you feel good the next day or two afterwards. So I really like these exercises as a way of preparing your body to be doing higher intensity training and as a nice prep before you do full body maximal jumping. And it's really important as you're doing these, progress conservatively, do less than you think you should. When you're programming jumping into your program, you want to do few reps, maybe 3 to 6 reps to start with a little bit of time in between each jump. Again, that's if you're trying to jump maximally. If you're training yourself to jump a lot of times in a row and perform under great fatigue, then you can jump more, but build yourself up. For someone like me, I'm used to it. I still only jump maybe 3 to 5 times within a set and go high intensity because I'm training myself to jump maximally each time. If you jump under great fatigue or you do too many sets, you start training your body to not use all its resources because it can. So just keep that in mind with your training. When you're training intensively for jumping, the knees, hips, and ankles tend to take on most of the brunt of the force. So it's really important that you prepare them to be moving with high intensities and you have some strategies for recovery as well. So here's a few exercises I like to improve the mobility and resiliency of your joints and allow you to train with greater intensities. So first, we're going to do some hip cars, controlled articular rotations. So you can find something here that you can grab onto for stability, or you can do it freestanding, whatever your choice. So you're going to lift up your knee as high as you can, swing it out while keeping your belly button straight ahead and not moving anything else. Then you're going to lift your ankle, bring the knee around in a circle. So you're essentially drawing the biggest circle with your knee as you can. All right, and then you can go the other direction. Now I'll show you from this angle. So here, back, bring the knee and ankle up, staying tall, swing it around. Okay, and the other way again is swing out, ankle up while the knee stays high, and back around. I'd recommend 3 to 5 reps in each direction when you prepare for jumping and as recovery. And honestly, as much as you can throughout the day. So, moving on to the knees, this is where a lot of people have some issue. We're going to do tibial rotations. So, thigh stays still and you're going to try to rotate your shin actively as much as you can, especially focus inward because that internal rotation is something that a lot of people are lacking. If you're able to do that pretty well, then you can add in the flex and extension. So you're going to pull your thigh up, rotate, extend as much as you can. Shouldn't be totally straight if you pull your thigh up, rotate, and pull. Rotate, extend, rotate, flex. And then you can do the other way, rotate out, extend, rotate, flex. Here again, I would recommend at least 3 to 5 reps before and after training and as much as you can throughout the day. especially if you have sore knees or if you find that your rotation is less than ideal. And now we're moving on to the ankles. So for the ankles, you don't want your shin to move, so you can hold your shin in place, or you can lock out your knee to prevent it from moving. And then you're gonna basically draw as big a circle as you can slowly with your big toe. So you're moving your ankle as much as possible without allowing your shin to move, and you're gonna go both directions. For this, it doesn't take quite as much effort or energy. I would recommend at least 5 to 10 reps each direction before and after training. Okay, it may not seem like a whole lot, but I guarantee if you do these consistently and push your outermost range of motion, you will feel differences in your ankles, knees, and hips, and that's gonna improve your training and your jumping.